What's up, everybody? My name's Trey, and welcome back to Better Days Sports. And in this video, we'll be breaking down the Washington Wizards in a nutshell, because I don't care about the knee-jerk reactions that most people have when it comes to the Washington Wizards getting both Trae Young and Anthony Davis. Because this is exactly what more NBA teams should be doing. And let me explain. Sure, should they be trading for Trae Young and AD? Not necessarily. But the Washington Wizards made a statement in trading for these two players. They said Anthony Davis, when healthy, and Trae Young, when healthy, are arguably two top 10 players in the league. And we probably won't be able to find that through the draft, at least in the short term. Sure, teams have been building through the draft. You can look at the Pistons. You can look at the Spurs. You can look at Oklahoma City. But for majority of these first round picks, they do not pan out to be a Cooper Flag, to be a Shea, to be a Chet, to be a Wimby, to be a Castle, to be a Dylan Harper. It's not guaranteed just because you have a ton of first round picks that those picks actually plan out. And because of that, I'm so tired of half the teams in the NBA tanking, half competing, and then ending up in the exact same place they were for multiple years. They don't have a star, they have top picks who don't plan out, and they have no real upside. The Washington Wizards, however, said, hey, instead of hoping and praying in the draft that we get somebody that's going to change around our future, how about we just go and get those players in a year in which their stock is probably the lowest? And I know what you're thinking. It's AD. Look, a healthy AD you want on your team. A healthy Trae Young at one point in time took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Sure, did he win anything? No, but name another player on the Hawks besides Trae Young that year. I'll wait. Exactly, okay? So, the league, and this is my opinion, the league absolutely punishes mediocrity. If you live in the middle, which I think a great example of this, the New Orleans Pelicans. They have been a team that has made moves not for necessarily all-star level players, but for good players. You get CJ McCollum, you get Javonte Murray, you get Jordan Poole. And by no stretches of imagination are any of those players that I just listed where you're like, oh, that player can get us to the finals. They can put us over the hump. We're on a team that's right on the edge. That's the player that's going to get us. No, they're not. And the fact that they talk themselves into that is why so many teams are at this we are mediocre stage, and they continue to live there. And the Wizards, on the other hand, took a big swing. Trae Young gives them an offensive engine, somebody they can absolutely run their offense through, somebody who will facilitate for other people, and a guard who actually will take the last shot. Not only that, with a healthy AD, they have a defensive identity, they have a legit rim protector, and they have instant credibility with those two players of no longer being an absolutely bottom feeder of the East, but now they can be sneaky good. Can they be a playoff team? Not a play-in team, but can they be a playoff team? So let me paint this perspective for you. The Washington Wizards arguably are going to have a top 5 pick. They have Trae Young. They have AD. They have a lot of young talent. Not only that, but they also have the number 2 pick last year that they drafted, who is starting to come into his own as a stretch 4. Has a lot of upside. Is he the best second overall pick ever? No, but he's definitely shown sparks of being a very good player. So the bigger picture is, sure, we're going to tank for the rest of this year. We're going to have a very high pick in a absolutely loaded draft where we can get arguably the best wing scorer in college basketball, Or maybe we get the best scoring two guard next to Trae Young so we can get some of that pressure away from Trae Young. And they have a roster of just young, skilled players. This wasn't a desperation move where they're like, we have to mortgage our entire future to get these two older stars. They're stacking, in my opinion, the timeline on the front end. Sure, are they going to be extremely relevant the rest of the season? No. They're tanking. They're trying to get a top 5 pick. But next year, with everybody healthy, a top pick, young talent, I think this team is a lot more dangerous than a lot of players or a lot of people. I think this team's a lot more dangerous than a lot of people want to give them credit for, simply because on paper, with the asterisk of AD being injured and Trae Young being a small guard who's also been injured a little bit in his career, especially after leaving the Hawks as disgruntled as he did, I don't care. I respect this move from the Washington Wizards because it wasn't safe, it wasn't conventional, and this isn't playing to be a play-in team as they have been for, it seems like, the last 5 years. This is a team that says next year, with the way that we are constructed, we have the ability to be in the playoffs, make a run, and with an East that seems to be the more injury-riddled conference, maybe with one or two stars getting injured, it's going to lead directly into the Wizards finding themselves in the Eastern Conference Championship, maybe even the finals. Is it something that I'm predicting? No, it is not. But I just wanted to throw out there, I absolutely love what the Wizards did this trade deadline, getting two legit all-star level players and shoring up their timeline to be a competent organization. But let me ask you, are you a fan of this trade for the Wizards? Are you a fan of Trae Young or AD? Maybe you don't think they work well together, or maybe you think this is absolutely disaster waiting to happen because of their injury history. But also, what else were the Wizards going to do? So leave your comments in the comment section down below of your opinion. Let me know how you feel about the Wizards making some questionable moves, but in my opinion, one of the few teams that said, hey, we're going for it and we're not going to be bad next year. I know we were this year, but we have some building blocks and we have the right players in the right type of systems that in theory work on paper, and let's see how that actually translates to on the court. And if you are somebody that's new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get notified every time I post a video, and leave a comment, like I said, down below on exactly this, because I'm really excited to see what the Wizards have in store next year. And just like that, I will see you in the next one. Peace.